Okay, this document links to the IB Higher Level Option 7 statistics, and in particular the topic of regression. Here I've got a very small set of data, 5 x values and 5 y values, and the task is to try and make the sums of the squares of the residuals as small as possible. In other words, go for a least squares regression line. So these are the data points. There's the point 27, 19, and so on and so forth. And by grabbing this line we can make it smaller, larger. If we go near the ends we can tilt it, and the students can try and start to experiment about what is the smallest value of the sums of the squares that we can get. I've got a value of 0.297, it looks like a pretty good fit. Oh, can I get any letter less than 297? We're going to be there just tweaking it ever so slightly. So students can basically explore that we have a bit of a choice over what sort of line of best fit we can pick, and the criteria we're using is to minimize the squares of the residuals. And you can also use this plot to talk about points being above the line and having a positive residual, and points being below the line having a negative residual, but when you square them and sum them all up, that sign change is no longer important. If you go to page 1.5, they start to see what the true value of the sums of the true value of the linear regression is, and we can move a point up and down it, and we can start to use this model line for prediction purposes, and the equation of the line is as it is up there. Now, the actual mechanics of how we go about doing that calculation based on that data, there are lots of ways of doing it. The later pages do show all the information used to generate the graphs we've seen so far. In the third column we have the fitted data, so those are the predicted y coordinates from the original x coordinates. If you're interested in the residues, it's the actual original y coordinates subtracting the fitted values. And if you're interested, if you want to take the topic further and look at residual plots, it's not specifically in the IB syllabus, but we have a residual plot there, and we have the fact that you can see that the effect of an individual value on the regression line and the fitted values and the residual plot is very clear to see by grabbing and moving those around. And finally, on the last few pages, if you're, again, this is not specifically within IB, but you want to work out confidence intervals and prediction intervals, this line we have going on here is something that best works on a computer and involves taking the whole topic of regression a little bit further than we need to. But if students are interested in working out the fact that when they have a fitted particular value for x, the blue line, the fitted line, will give you an actual value, but it could be a little bit above and a little bit below, and there's a lot of mathematics about generating the confidence intervals and prediction intervals to go with that. So this particular document goes much further than you need to, and there's the definitions of the confidence and prediction interval, but the first few pages at least are a very useful way of starting off the topic and getting students aware of what they're actually trying to do when they work out a line of best fit or a least squares regression line. We're done.